Hello and welcome back to Cattenvîr in the 1st of Hematite, year 127, early summer. Not much time, if any, has passed since you last saw Cattenvîr. And in this episode, much as I said I would in the previous one, we're going to be focusing quite a lot on this level. It is the third level down from the main level of the fort, and is going to be our primary living quarters. Now, my main goal with this level is going to be have a place for anyone who doesn't have a specific burrow to live. So whilst I'm still going to be having very specific areas for other people to live, for example, all the smiths will probably live near wherever the smithing complex is. And they'll have their own kitchen, they'll have their own living quarters there. And the smiths will specifically, and their spouses and their children, will be living down there. But this is going to be a place for everyone who hasn't got a specific burrow to live in. I'm not thinking of putting the nobles in here. I'm thinking I'm going to have a very specific space for them. Or if they are on this level, it'll be accessed by a different stairwell. We don't want the nobles mingling with the peasants. What kind of kingdom is this? No, that wouldn't do. So first and foremost, we're going to start with how we're going to be getting out of the stairwell. And what I'm thinking is, well, the main thing we'll want to do is have a wide corridor. The worst thing you can possibly do, especially in somewhere where the dwarves are going to be living, is give them a 1 or even a 2 wide corridor. Though a 2 wide corridor isn't as bad. Unfortunately, we're quite close to the edge of the screen over here. This one can go out a little bit longer though. Let's do that. But the reason why you don't want too many too smaller corridors, that generally speaking, wherever people have got their homes, because for all intents and purposes, the living quarters are the homes of the dwarves, there is going to be an awful lot of traffic around that area. So if you've only got a 1 or 2 wide corridor, then it's going to be getting a little bit heavily trafficked, and people are going to be lying and crawling all over each other, and it's going to be nonsense. Now, I'm just going to mark out an area. I'm not really sure what size I'm going to make this area, but just for the sake of having it marked out, this is going to be some sort of grand hall. I know it's enormous. It's meant to be enormous. It's going to have all sorts of features in there, including water features, hopefully, statue gardens, a crazy, lovely area, you know, some sort of central water feature as well. And that's going to be where that's going to be the main great hall, the meeting hall for the dwarves. But we're going to make some rooms. Now, anyone who's played Dwarf Fortress in the past will know that it used to have a dwarvish economy. Well, the dwarvish economy was quite important for a number of reasons. Chief among those reasons is the fact that your dwarves would eventually, once the economy kicked in, and that would happen due to various reasons. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but something would eventually happen which would activate the dwarven economy. And all of a sudden, your dwarves would have to pay for things. They would have to pay rent on their rooms. So you needed a very large array of rooms of varying sizes and varying values so that the poorest dwarves would be able to still have a place to sleep. For all intents and purposes at the moment, though, a room is a room is a room. Dwarves don't care how big the room is as long as there's a bedroom, and for that, all you need is a bed. But for the sake of your sanity, at least include a chest or a coffer, some form of general goods storage, and a dresser for general clothing storage. You really don't want to make their bedrooms without these things, and eventually, I'm sure you'll see why. If you just watch this Let's Play enough, there will be at some point something going on with that. Now, I think you can get away with a 3x2, or actually a 3x1. You just need 3 tiles, a bed, a dresser, and a chest, and none of these block movement. But a general sort of shape that you might want to do is a 3x3. We're going to make these alcoves a little bit wider so that we can fit some 3x3s in. So this will be the beginning. These are going to be fairly cheap, bog standard rooms. Now, although I've said that the dwarvish economy no longer works, it's been disabled because it was quite buggy. I still like the idea of having different types of rooms. I think the more important people in the fort should have better rooms, not just nobles and peasants. No. We need to be able to segregate our population in a different way. We need the sort of amazing rooms for our legendary dwarves, and then for the dwarves who kind of annoy us, we want to shove them in a little tiny 2x2 room. Yes, that's the way I like to run my fortress. And we'll have this come up here, connected up there again. Now, I don't know how many rooms I'm going to make to start with. Probably, though, I'm thinking something like twice as many bedrooms as we would need. So, currently, if we have a quick look, let me just come out of here. What's our population? Our population is exactly 40 because we have a child. Now, one thing to know about the dwarves is that they will live with their families. So if you've got 2 people who are married, for example, I think Para and Millionfowl, let me just double check that, make sure I'm not starting some malicious rumor that's going to end someone's marriage. Millionfowl, show me, who are you married to? Para, haha, see, I actually pay attention. I am a good fortress administrator. So yes, Para, Millionfowl, and their daughter will all share the same room. So even though we've got 40 dwarves, we don't need 40 rooms. But I am going to make 40 rooms just to account for any extra migrants. It's always a better idea to have more rooms than you need than less. That's the rule of thumb that you should live by. Okay, and we'll top that little area off. In fact, can I? Yes, I think we can. You can't designate on the last tile on the area, even though you could do that in Nomoria. That's something to be aware of with Dwarf Fortress. It doesn't let you designate the very last area. I've actually made this too big, haven't I? Yes, I have. Okay. We want to have a little alcove sort of thing. Over here we could do the same thing. Though, no, I don't like that, because that's only a 4x4. No, I was right. Haha! Damn it. There we go. No, I wasn't! My lord, I'm getting everything wrong. Damn you. No, this isn't going to work out the way I want, unfortunately. Okay, let's redesignate that. And I will have the little little sort of pillar. Well, it's not really a pillar, it's more like a column, I guess. Now, so we've got 15 there. And we're going to want another... Oh, let me get up there, bring this down. We are going to want another 25. So, that will bring us up to a nice sort of area. And then I may just leave that. In fact, I could have those tiny little hobbit holes down here for the lesser liked dwarves. I'll have a couple. There are no lesser liked dwarves. I like all of the dwarves. It's just that some of you are less useful than others, unfortunately. Right. We may as well take this scheme all the way out here. So we want another 3x3 there. And we'll see how many of these we can take across. It looks like that's it. Okay, that will be enough for a couple of our dwarves at least. I may not hook up all of the rooms. For example, what I'll likely do is I'll undesignate certain parts so that our miners don't get too distracted, because otherwise they'll just mine out everything. And they'll do it in a really random way. Like, they'll start over here and just go along here. Maybe they'll half mine out a couple of these rooms, but then get distracted with doing the corridors again. So you'll end up with a lot of stuff almost done, but none of it actually usable. So even though I'm going to be designating a lot of these buildings, I'm not going to be expecting them all to be dug out immediately. Now, I'm going to continue doing this a little bit more, continuing this sort of pattern along the bottom here, because there's not much we can do with this space, so I'm just going to use it for some of the less impressive rooms. And I will bring you back when I'm finished with that, and I'm looking to designate some different shape rooms or some sort of, maybe even starting on the Great Hall. So, see you in a few moments. And welcome back. As you can see, I went ahead and finished off the buildings, the actual rooms themselves. And I figured while I was doing that, since it was literally just a case of designating a single tile in front of each room to add the door, I'd do that off screen as well. And then I decided, oh, well, I may as well just add the alcoves off screen. And then I ended up doing quite a lot. But nothing really of any particular substance. So don't worry, you haven't missed out on all of the fun. I've used what I've designated to allow me to work out where the entrances would be to the Great Hall. I've even fleshed it out a little bit more in terms of its size, so it's now a standard shape, I guess. But we now know where the entrances are going to be. Later on, I'm probably not going to do it right now because it's not something that we're going to get to actually digging out for quite some time. But later on, I will be playing around with the design of this. And as I've alluded to, I'm going to try and make this quite an interesting place with statue gardens, with certain like booths and stuff. We will be having water features in there, at least a couple of waterfalls to create nice mists around the entrance halls. But for now, I'm fairly happy with what we've designated. And I mean, this is going to take a while for Evelyn and Rock to get to. So rather than tie out this entire episode with me designating stuff that's going to take like 2 or 3 episodes to get dug out, I think we'll leave it at that and actually just start work on this now. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the areas that I don't want worked on until we've actually got a couple of rooms that are going to work for us. So I'm going to cut off these areas, and I'm also going to cut off this as well. May as well. So we're going to just try and get all of this dug out. So let's go ahead and unpause. There we go. Now Rock and Evelyn are going to have an awful lot of work on their hands. But that does mean that we're not going to get as much of this done, because currently I believe these jobs require someone with architecture. Oh no, masonry. Okay, well, we've got 1 or 2 people who can do that then. That's fantastic. What about this? Yeah, masonry. Okay. We're waiting on masons specifically. Oh, Flying Staplers has finally become a farmer. Well done, Flying Staplers. I thought you already were one. That does worry me a little bit. But as everyone did correctly point out, apparently, no, you do not need to have water on underground farms. You just need to have the bloody seed. Oh, magnetite? Where? We've hit something. Something awesome. We've got magnetite there. We can actually start making iron tools and weapons and armor. This is fantastic. Though, it does kind of get in my way a little bit. Oh, man. Now, this is one of the reasons why you want miners who are actually good at their job, because currently... balls. Evelyn is not getting much ore back from the stone that she's mining, and I believe that goes up with skill. Also is the speed they can mine at. Now, as we've hit something that's going to be quite precious to us, as much as I've spent all this time designating all of this stuff, I'm going to have to do a lot of work, and I'm not just going to allow these to be magnetite walls. I could allow people to have walls made of iron bearing ore, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mine out every single scrap of this ore, and then I'll just have to rebuild the walls with blocks, which isn't ideal because it's going to massively increase the amount of time it's going to take to get that area set up. But having the iron is much more important to me than not. Now, we've got these all set up. That one's ready to split. That's cool. Do not gather product, install colony, we're ready. However, yeah, we've got a couple that are ready to split, so we may as well go ahead and build those hives. The other hives that we've got. And these will be for... Actually, well, I might have these as breeding hives as well, I don't know. But we could just start getting some product from them. Right, we want another hive, please. Rock hive. Because we are one short. Now then, what's everyone up to? We've got... How many people are idle? 13 people are idle? No way are there not enough jobs. There are loads of things you should be doing, you lazy sods. Right, get to brewing some drinks and making some awesome food. Yeah, make some fine ones, actually. Now, how are these walls coming along? Oh, they're not doing too bad. Unfortunately, made out of different coloured rock, which is... It is going to be an issue, but we'll be alright with that. Merchants are leaving soon. That's fine by me. We don't really want to do any more trading with them. Now, I suppose one thing we could do is add a couple more traps. Now, I have spoken to a couple of people on the Dwarf Fortress forums regarding cage traps because, as some people have suggested in the comments, that cage traps had been nerfed and, as such, I shouldn't worry about using them. I've spoken to a couple of people and really any nerfing that they're aware of isn't really very extensive. There are like a handful of mega beasts that the cages can't hold. But other than that, they can still trap, you know, pretty much everything else. They can certainly trap everything that's going to come at you from a siege. I thought perhaps maybe they had been made so that the goblins would let themselves out of the traps, like if their buddies were nearby, they'd come over and they'd break the trap door and let their friends out. But no, that still doesn't happen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Loads of people just became something, like peasants or some such. Okay. Oh, they must be standing down. I see. That was probably the military dwarves. And you notice they're all starting to very much look like military dwarves now, which is quite cool. Let's just double check something. Someone did point out the military screen that I didn't actually have the everlasting stockades on active. They were on inactive. They are now active, so they should be working as military. Wow, a lot of those beds are being used at the same time. That's, well, better than them not being used, probably, but... Now, let's go down and check how we're doing down here. Not too bad, actually. Evelyn's getting really fast at mining. Wow. I think that's Evelyn anyway. Let me just double check. Are you Evelyn? Yes. Rock, still a little bit behind, but he started being a miner far later than Evelyn, so she had some time advantage. But wow, look at all of this magnetite. That is amazing. We better actually start turning a lot of this stuff into charcoal. And for that, I think we're going to use a management order. So, charcoal. Make charcoal. Make 30 of them. We are going to have Plump doing a lot of work. Chop, chop, Plump. Now, I think we want some more pults, possibly. So, I could... Actually, none of the pults really have grown up yet, so no, never mind. I'll wait until they've grown up, and then I'll lock that door so they can breed a little bit more. Now then... Have we gotten everything from over here that we want? I don't think we have. Oh, they look like they're leaving. Yeah, they're packing up all their goods and they're buggering off. Fair enough. I'm not going to stop them. But we do, once those mechanics are done with the mechanisms, we will want to make some more stonefall traps, I think. Let's have a look at that. Do we have enough already? We've got 2. Okay, I accept. We'll build them along the edge here. And eventually... Well, once we've got some of this metal coming in, I'll have Plump actually make some proper metal trap components. And because they'll be metal, we'll be able to have giant circular saw blades, giant axes. It will literally be like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It will be glorious and horrific. But we're good with horrific. We like horrific, especially when it's happening to other people. Right, we'll get that hive built up as well. So they should have split those hives now. Or at least a few of them. Wow, look at all those bolts everywhere. That's crazy. Are we okay for wood? I think we are. Now, let's just have a quick look at the kitchen. Are you cooking anything that I don't want you to cook? I don't want you to cook those. Or that. I want the drinks kept, please. Eagle meat. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm thinking we might need to expand this little area, actually. I didn't really want to do too much extra work up here, but I think we do need to expand this out a bit because we've got a lot of things we need to store. I really dislike having a single large stockpile. It's just not particularly useful for us, I don't think. It makes things quite hard to organize properly, but... And a load of people have just gone into training. Good, good. Salador has become a Marks Dwarf? Really? Okay. Tables have been completed though, which is pretty good. And we've got a stray donkey. There's a lot of things that just happened, I've got to say. Let's just have a quick look at that. Right, it looks like they did a swap over on training, so a couple of people got let to go do their own thing. So Eli's going to be a fisher for a bit, and Sergeant Bird is going to be a fish dissector. Really, they haven't done these things. They're literally just standing down. I think they do a little bit of hauling. But we've got... Atir Arakot. I'm sure I named everyone. I'm not liking that. Let me just have a quick look. Who are our soldiers? Well, I'm absolutely certain that our militia commander is... Yeah. For some reason, they just don't seem to use the nicknames when they should sometimes. Oh well. But we need to build those tables we made in here. Specifically because we are going to need some traction benches. And some tables for performing surgery. There we go. Those tables will be okay, I think. I'll build the traction benches. Actually, maybe I should have 4 traction benches rather than 4 tables. Yeah. I'll have 2 tables for surgery. Get rid of that one. I get rid of that one? Yeah. And 2 tables for traction benches. Also, do we have any coffers? No, that's a chair. We want container. Yeah, can we? Looks like we might be able to. Yes, we do. Good. We'll go ahead and... Actually, we'll place the chest in the middle here. And these will hopefully allow our dwarves to carry in fibre, gypsum plaster, anything to do with the hospital, crutches, splints, that sort of thing. They'll carry all of that in for us, and hopefully our hospital will actually start looking like it could actually save someone's life instead of just be somewhere where they go to die in their sleep. Unfortunately, it's still likely to be somewhere they go to die in their sleep. It just won't look like that. If we have a look at hospital now, we'll see that they've got 4 beds, 2 tables, 2 bags of boxes, that it's storing a certain amount of thread, a certain amount of cloth. It's got 1 splint, 1 bucket. Those sorts of things are very, very important. So, now let's have a quick check down. How much more work has been done? Oh, good. Got a couple of the rooms done. Unfortunately, all of that hematite is still there. Right, okay, well, I'm going to zoom up a bit and see if they've started work on the walls up here. Those are done, which is pretty nice. What about the... What just happened? Okay, well, that's fine. What we're going to do, I think I'm going to start removing those constructions there. DC, I believe. No? Where is it? Remove construction. Oh, N. Remove construction. Right, I need to remove these floors in order to build the actual walls on those floors. For some reason, it doesn't like trying to build a structure on top of a structure, even when those structures are floors. Doesn't really make that much sense to me, honestly, but who am I to argue? Please don't remove the floor from underneath someone. That would be an epically nasty thing to do. Please don't do it. Oh dear. No? Okay. Okay, we're still going alright. Ish. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. As soon as I've removed that last floor, now I think the blocks may have fallen down to the floor below. No, they didn't. Okay. Once that's done, though, I'll continue building the wall. There we are. So, construction wall. And this one should be able to go all the way across. Like so. Not quite all the way across, because there is now a tree in the way. But we'll get them working on that. And in the meantime, we'll also designate that tree to be chopped down. There we are. Okay. Alright, well, while you guys are working on that... Oh, you've already built the traps. Well done. Let's go check out how it's going down here. Okay, we've got quite a few of these rooms are ready now, so... And it looks like the habitat is only over there, so I should be able to make one... No, not that one, but 3, 6... Okay, looks like we've got 12 rooms that we'll have... that we can actually start putting people into. So, we're going to need a bunch of stuff. And now this is really where the management screen shines. So, what we want is a new order. We want bed. Construction bed. We want 12 of them. We also then want dresser. No. Cabinets, is it? Ah, there we are. We don't want them to be made of iron. That is far, far more than these dwarves deserve. If there were legendary dwarves or nobles, then maybe, and only if they liked iron. But, so that's cabinets. We also want chests. Wooden chests. We'll have 12 of those. And that should be enough. We also want doors, though. So, wooden door. 12 of those. So, once Aavak gets to signing off on those work orders, then the jobs will be supplied. Now, you may have noticed that most of those are carpentry jobs. In fact, all of them are. And that carpenters... Oh, we've got migrants. Carpenters only have about 10 slots for jobs. But the thing that will happen is they'll assign however many they can. They'll get made, and every time a new slot is open in the carpenter's list of jobs, it's in its job queue, another one that's been authorized will be pushed into it. So it'll actually be quite useful. Much, much easier than managing it yourself. Oh man, how many new migrants are we going to have? Let us hope that the 53 odd beds, or bedrooms that we've designated to be mined, will be enough. It looks like we didn't get too many, actually. That's not too bad. Let's go and have a quick look. They're all piling into that tiny, tiny little room. Probably everyone is making friends. The next Meet the Dwarves episode is going to be crazy with the relationships. I can tell you that right now. But let's hop over to Dwarf Therapist and find out exactly what's going on. And here we are. Once again, another pretty good migrant wave. And quite interestingly, there we are. So far in year 127, we've only had one birth. That's actually kind of cool. Not that there's only been one, but that it marks it individually when you're sorting it by migrant wave. But yes, we've got 12 new migrants. Like I said, word has spread that we are awesome, and everyone and their dog, and their donkey, and their bunny, and their poult is trying to get into the fort. So, we're going to have some fun renaming people. But again, and I didn't plan this, by the way, I'm not being a git just to be a git. It just happens to be that fate demands that I be one. The episode is coming to an end before we have actually renamed everyone. So, these 12 people, I'm going to have to decide who's good at what. Let's have a quick look at their roles. Oh, wow. Got a lot of people who are good at roles. A lot of people who are good at milking. Bloody hell, everyone in the fort is good at milking. What on earth? And everyone is good at gem setting. I guess those tasks aren't particularly hard. But you are actually really good with animal care and trainer. You might be joining my jester by the looks of it. And you are just amazing at everything to do with wood. Clearly, the son, or rather, the daughter of a carpenter. But that is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed. In the next one, there will probably be a lot more work as I start to get plump, making some metal goods, some metal weapons and trap components, and maybe a little bit more designation. I might actually have a look at designating the Great Hall that's going to be carved out. But for now, yeah, I leave you with these fantastic migrants. I'm sure they're all going to be amazing, and we can see that quite a few of them have some fairly hefty skills, actually, especially you. There is no way I'm not going to be able to make you into some sort of woodworker, not with those sort of skills. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Again, I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me for the next. But until then, do take care.